Hey everyone, welcome to the top 10 list. Welcome to my top 10 overrated classic movies. Yes, it's kind of hard to justify what a classic is because there's people call a lot of different movies classics and stuff. Like people think early 2000s are still classics and stuff. But to me, classics, I guess I would say it's like the 70s and before. I feel like 80s, 90s, 2000s is considered modern classics. So that's how I'm doing it. Maybe I'll do in top 10 overrated modern classics, but um, these are classics nonetheless. And I'm going to talk about 10 classic movies that I find just overrated. I don't despise these movies or even, I don't even say hate them, but they're just not movies I can never get into. And just, I think they're just a little overhyped. And but people call them classics. They're classics for a reason. So let's get to it. My opinion. Don't get mad at me. Coming in number 10 is Marilyn Monroe's Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. It's just not a very funny movie. Not a very engaging movie. And honestly, I'm not like the biggest Marilyn Monroe guy. Like, I think she's beautiful and she is an okay singer. She's played in some pretty good movies, like Some Like It Hot, The 7 Year Itch, and I think Niagara is a pretty underrated movie, but I've never found her all that talented. This one, and the movie tries heavily to be a little slapsticky, a little comical. Just it's not my kind of thing. It's not my kind of slapsticky. It's not my kind of comedy. It's nowhere near like a Great Race or What's Up Doc, but people love it. People, diehard Marilyn Monroe fans, love this movie. They call it classic, some of the best comedies out there. That's cool. Not my thing, no. Coming in number 9 is Martin Scorsese's Mean Streets. Mean Streets is very dated for me. And I'm a Scorsese fan. I love his work. I love like Raging Bull, Taxi Driver, Goodfellas, Casino, Hugo. Like I think he's a truly remarkable filmmaker, and I think he's made some of the greatest crime movies ever. Mean Streets was like basically the beginning of the Scorsese crime genres that we got throughout the years, decades, and still are getting. I just think it's not as interesting. It's very low budget and it's got that like grimy feel, and that's probably why a lot of people love how grimy and gritty and dark it is. I like Taxi Driver's all those things, and I love Taxi Driver. I think Taxi Driver is just a remarkable film, and De Niro just kills it. And De Niro is the best part of this movie. Robert De Niro is like easily the best, and Harvey Keitel's fine too, but. I don't know. I just can't get invested with these characters. Usually, with like crime movies, I get invested into like the Scorsese characters like Goodfellas and Casino and all that, even The Irishman. But I don't know, I can't get invested with these characters. I could just give two rats ass about anyone in this damn movie. I've watched this movie twice in my life, and I've never really got on board with it. And I just always find it was a little overrated because some people call it like one of Scorsese's top 10 best movies. I don't think so. Just not me. Coming in number 8 is Nashville. This is like a big, huge Hollywood musical that came out in the 70s, and it's directed by Robert Altman. And I actually like Robert Altman as a director. I love Gosford Park. I love The Long Goodbye. I think that's a great movie. I think he's made some pretty good hidden gems out there. Did he do The Player? I think he did The Player too. That's probably his best movie. This movie, I don't like this movie that much. There's some creative stuff. There's some good cinematography, some decent direction. I just don't like these stories, these different stories in this movie. I just don't give a shit, and I don't know. I'm not into the music in this movie, and there's a lot of like country music and like 70s pop, and just I don't know. Just I never really could get on board with this movie. I've attempted to watch this movie 3 times, and I can never get fully through it. I remember the first time I watched it, I fell asleep 20 minutes in. Then a year later, I tried it again and got an hour and a half in. Then I tried another time and got the same like hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes in. I just could never finish this movie. I could see the appeal and I could see why people like Nashville as a movie, but I can't ever get invested. And it's very rare a movie comes out, especially a long time ago, that I can't finish. But I can't ever finish this movie. Just can't. All right, number 7, Annie Hall. Best Picture winner of 1977. Yeah, beat Close Encounters of the Third Kind and Star Wars. I'm not gonna say Annie Hall's a shit movie because it's not. No, no. Diane Keaton is really good in this movie, and like the fourth wall breaks are interesting and stuff. But basically, it's just kind of a simple romantic comedy with the Woody Allen style to it. That's really it. It's not overly hilarious. It doesn't even have a good message to it. The writing isn't even all that clever. And the movie itself really didn't leave a huge impact on society or filmmaking. I know a lot of people think it did because it broke the fourth wall. I'm like, okay, if this movie didn't do it, other movies would have. And plus, the Muppets existed, so I don't know what people are talking about. I don't know, just, I think it's decent. It's a pretty decent movie. Just, it's not brilliant. Like, I think this movie's on the AFI Top 100 Greatest Films of All Time, and I'm like, really? Annie Hall, top 100 greatest movies? I would even be shocked if it was in the top 20 greatest rom-coms. It's not even, like, that good of a rom-com. And the fact that it beat Star Wars and Glorious Counts of the Third Kind at the Oscars is just asinine, but who am I to say, right? Coming number 6 is All That Jazz. I've talked about this movie way too much. I'm kind of sick at death of talking about how much I don't like All That Jazz, how much I think it's a waste of Roy Schneider, how much the dark and gritty filmmaking could have worked so much if the story and characters were interesting. I don't like the music. I don't like the setting. I don't like the movie. I don't like it. But people love it, so that's cool. Number 5, How Green Was My Valley? And I know this is going to come as a weird one because some people are like, what the flying fuck is this movie? I'm telling you, How Green Was My Valley was a huge hit when it came out in the 40s. And it won Best Picture, beating one of the greatest films of all time, Citizen Kane. So, yeah. And it's Billy Wilder. Anytime a Billy Wilder movie came out, especially during that time period, he always got Oscar love. He was very praised by the Academy and stuff, and especially the classic era. A lot of old people love Billy Wilder, and I get it, because Billy Wilder's made some great movies. Some Like It Hot, The Apartment, like he's got some good gems, but How Great Is My Valley ain't one of them, so, yeah. Coming number 4, this is going to be a crazy one. True Grit. 1969's True Grit. It's a good movie. John Wayne as Rooster Cogburn is very good in this movie. It's just the Coen Brothers remade it in 2010, and they did it so much better. Like this revenge story about a girl hiring this cowboy to take revenge on the man who killed her father. It's done so silly in the original 60s version. And again, it's not bad necessarily. It's just when you compare it to the Coen Brothers version, it's so inferior in every way, shape, or form. What the Coen Brothers did with the remake was just genius. The casting was spectacular. Jeff Bridges, Matt Damon, Josh Brolin, Haley Steinfeld, all of them crush their roles. They do such a good job. They make the movie so dark and raw and brutal and so real and so visceral. It's just in every way, shape, or form, it's better than the original True Grit. And when you go back and watch the original 1969 True Grit, you're just like, the remake just did it so much better. Especially when you compare the endings. The ending to the 1969 True Grit is just so hokey and sappy and just doesn't feel genuine or real. The remake's ending is so brutal, and I love it. I love that it had the balls to end that movie so dark like that. So yeah. The originals are overrated because of the remake. Sorry. Alright, number 3. We're going with an animated one. Pinocchio. Pinocchio is an overrated Disney movie to me. This movie has like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like, really? Pinocchio? Really? Even as a kid, this was never a favorite of mine. I barely watched a lot of Pinocchio. Sometimes it was on the background and stuff, but I never could get invested with Pinocchio. Sorry. I just could never get invested with it. I just don't like the characters. I don't like Pinocchio. I think he's a little brat. I don't like Jiminy Cricket or Geppetto or any of these characters. The only thing in Pinocchio that I thought was like so fucked up and out there was the circus scene where the kids turn into donkeys That to this day fucked me up, man. As a kid, it horrified me, that scene. And even now to this day, that is a horrific scene. And I still think that is the most terrifying scene in any Disney film, is the donkey scene in Pinocchio. And I'll give it that. I'll give it praise for that, for going that insane and that dark. The rest of the movie, mediocre. Nice animation, nice message, a really fucked up donkey scene, all great. But the movie itself, I just don't think it's all that amazing. I actually like the Guillermo del Toro remake that came out a couple years ago. I like that more. I think that's the best version of Pinocchio. And I'm not a Pinocchio guy. I don't really like any adaptations of Pinocchio except the Guillermo del Toro one. So that's just me. All right, coming to number 2, Holiday Inn, a Christmas classic that I could care less about. I'm more of a White Christmas kind of guy. I like that one, the original Miracle on 34th Street with Natalie Wood. Those are classic Christmas movies that I really enjoy. Christmas Story is another one, but man, Holiday Inn, so lame, so hokey and cheesy, and just, I don't know, isn't Bing Crosby in this one too? Yeah, I think he's in this one too. I don't know. I can't get on board with the music. Can't get on board with the characters. It really doesn't put me in that holiday Christmas cheer, Christmas mood. I don't know. I can never get on board with this. And my mom loves this movie, and she likes to put it on every Christmas. And I just never. Every time she puts it on, I'm like, yeah, I'll pass. And my number one is such a weird one. This one has like a cult following, and people love this movie. And I just don't get it. And it's a movie called Harold and Maude. I just don't get the love for this movie. I don't get it. It's not. It's a classic. People love it. People love how dark and twisted and out there this movie is. I'm just not on board with it. I don't think it's that funny. I don't think it's that interesting. I don't like either Harold or Maude. I give two fucks about either of them. And it sounds like something up my alley because I love dark comedy. I love like the Addams Family and like In Bruges and weird movies and quirky movies. But like even I like Alexander Payne movies. Like I love The Holdovers and stuff. Like I love like weird out there movies. But this one just I can't. I've watched this movie twice. I never could see the appeal and why people love it so much. Tell me in the comments below if you love Harold and Maude. What is it about this movie you like? I just don't like these characters. I don't find it funny. I don't find anything interesting. I don't know. Am I missing something? Tell me no. Tell me in the comments below what am I missing about Harold and Maude and the love people have for this movie. So I don't fucking get it. But anyways, those are my top 10 overrated classic movies. Let me know in the comments below what are overrated classics that you find. What did I just say? What are overrated classics you find overrated? Does that even make a lick of fucking sense? But you all know what I'm asking. Anyways, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like this video, please like and subscribe to this channel. Enjoy the dark side.